I am on. There you go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for our weekly Real Housewives of Potomac live recap with our friends Lailah Lynn and Kempire. How are you guys?
How are you doing?
I'm okay, honestly. It's getting so cold. I'm so cold. That's all I could say. I just drink tea all day to stay warm.
Oh my God.
You look great.
And it's warm here in New York. It's like 50 degrees. I don't know why I have a sweater on. I guess I'm trying to.
You know I don't know what 50 degrees means.
Oh, damn.
What is that?
It's warm.
What is that?
I'm so freaking jealous. Did you guys get up to anything fun over the weekend?
I did. I went out with a girlfriend. Like, we had dinner. It would have been brunch, but, you know, it was raining. So we went out a little bit later. And it was fun, like, catching up with her.
Love that. What about you, Kempire?
I got a facial done. So my guy beat me down. It's been over a month since I've had a facial. I usually at least get one a month. That's all I do on the weekend. I don't have a life, y'all. I was working. I was working out. And then I got a facial because I got to look good on camera.
Yes, right. I love that. Expense that facial. That's a business expense.
Yeah.
No. It really don't help that much though when I do my taxes.
That's the part. You guys, thank you so much for joining us as always. This is incredible. We're doing this every week. It has been incredible. Next week is the finale. I can't believe we're already there. It's crazy, you guys. I did ask you guys in the chat to, as usual, rate the episode on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm seeing some pretty high ratings, you guys. I'm quite surprised. Mm-hmm. You know, one of us here did love the episode, and that's Lailah. So
I did. Yeah. I like
Lailah,
it.
Can you tell us why you and your friends think the episode deserves an 8 or a 9?
Well, it's really just me. But I like the conversation kind of you know, with Wendy and Mia. And then what I like when Ashley, you know, was spilling the tea to Giselle, I like that Giselle admitted that she puts extra sauce on stuff. Like, I like the truthfulness coming out. I like seeing Karen, you know, in her business mode. I have her candle. We can explore that later. But I just like the episode overall.
Okay. What about you, Kempire? I think you and I didn't really care for the episode too much. What's your reason for not being into
it? Honestly, after last week's episode, maybe because it was so good last week, and then coming into this week, and then we have an episode surrounded around Robyn Dixon. It didn't connect for me. For me, it was probably my least favorite episode. Or one of my least favorite episodes from the season. I was just like, what's happening here? And honestly, look, I might be gay, but I was expecting some big booty strippers, and what did we get?
Oh my God. Crickets.
I'm in shock.
Okay. Or a bolo situation. But if we're gonna get some female strippers, come on now.
Give it to them. You know, I'm with Make It Make Sense on this. I'm going to give it a 10 as a joke because it's the amount of minutes it took for me to get bored. Honestly, listen, I've never been a huge fan of Ashley, but this episode, and I did a TikTok about this earlier, she to me was just so irritating. You know who she reminds me of? Every time you see her, all she's doing is snitching on people. And so she just reminded me of one of my, you know, childhood shows. Do you guys remember watching this, Recess?
Listen, I love the graphics. I love the graphics, Grace.
Oh my God.
We're like 5 minutes in and the graphics are like top tier already.
I'm trying. I'm competing with y'all. Thank you.
I love it.
All she does is snitch. And I felt like the coochie situation is like, all right, like, and then what? You know what I mean? They were just having good old-fashioned grown woman fun. But speaking of that, I did run a poll, and it seems like most of you don't believe that Wendy actually wanted to hook up with Mia, or she touched her kitty cat, or anything like that. What do you two think? Oh, Lailah, do you believe it?
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all this because this for some reason didn't come up on the episode. I don't think it was like a actual type of situation. I think it was, you know, remember when Mia said she had some type of surgery?
Oh.
Yes. And being that Wendy has had, a lot of surgeries too, I felt like it was like, let me see what the doctor did. You know what I mean? That's how I took it. Like, it might have been like, show me, like, what did you have done? Let me see it. Do I want to get this done?
Touch it too? Touch it too?
Well, yeah. Oh. Why not?
Look. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to get too detailed into it, but yes.
I believe something happened. I do believe that. I do believe that they showed each other their things. Okay. I don't know what's going on here with the ladies when they start drinking. Honestly, I don't drink, but I've been around with my friends and we start drinking. Look, we don't start showing each other our situations and looking, we're gay. So I just found that to be so interesting that that's their go-to when they get drunk, kissing and all. Really? But I also think this is kind of dangerous, and I'm sure we'll talk more about this. I think it's kind of dangerous because this is not like these are two single women. You're talking about two married women that apparently are not in an open relationship. Okay, well, Mia maybe, but she says she still needs to get permission.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't believe Mia as far as I can throw her, but at the same time, I do believe something happened.
See, I'm glad that you say that because I did want to ask. It reminds me of even when Andy Cohen had Oprah on the Watch What Will Happens live show. He asked her a question that he regrets to this day, which was, have you ever experimented in the lady pond or this or that? Like, there's something about the Real Housewives universe that kind of like, is it commodified or makes light of like lesbianism or, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing where I think it started for me with Portia, the way when she'd get drunk, she'd be into this stuff. Meanwhile, she was like a homophobic preacher before RHOP came running up. I mean, RHOA started. What is that? Like, what is it about these girls that turns them this way when they get drunk? I've been drunk so many times with my girlfriends. Nothing like this has ever happened. I don't like Lailah. Does this happen with you and your friends?
No. But I will say this. I do have friends that if I had some type of surgery like that, I do have friends that would be like, girl, like they would ask to see it because of the surgery, but not in like a general, basis. No.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because at first I was sort of like, I do believe something happened, but then you bring up this other aspect. Maybe they were comparing stuff, but they're also drunk.
Yeah.
In that very first scene, I don't know if you guys noticed this because we already know Giselle is a producer. Yeah, I believe that Giselle and Ashley planned to have this conversation before getting to this scene. Giselle jumped into the lady pond too quickly for us to be like, wait, where did that come from, Giselle? Like, why all of a sudden you're asking about did someone lick this and do this?
Well, Ashley only had like 5 minutes, so it's kind of like, let me go ahead and ask her while she's here. Let's jump in. Yeah.
That's a great point. I didn't even catch on to it. The only thing that I was thinking about this whole episode was why would Robyn ask people who dress like this to come help her choose out an outfit? Like, what is that?
I want to say, I like Ashley's dress.
Her dress is nice.
In Mexico. We are back in Potomac.
I like it.
The shoes are so bad. And then Giselle is just Giselling as usual. Oh my God. In my Garcelle voice. Oh, guys. Well, listen, what did you think about these dresses? Do you think that Robyn wore any of these dresses actually to her wedding? Is that a scoff I hear in the background, Mr. Kempire?
Wait, when was the last time we were together? What happened in between? Oh no, we had the breaking news on my channel when the marriage situation, then the cheating stuff came out. I was like, I think we might need to have an emergency meeting.
Yes.
A lot has happened since then. Those dresses were ugly. Sorry.
No way. Even the first one was beautiful. It's just that it's been done so many times. I feel like this is the standard wedding dress of like the 20, like late 10s and 2020s. I feel like every dress kind of looks like this.
Maybe it's the model.
Wow. Don't hold that, Kempire.
Get Robyn back on you again.
They all look regular with her coming out in them. I was like, I mean, the second one, I was like, okay, if you're going somewhere for New Year's Eve, but not for your wedding. All of a sudden now we're doing wedding dress shopping. I thought you were doing a small wedding.
The wedding storyline, speaking of that, it kind of felt as though towards the end of the season, a producer told her, listen, Robyn, at least pretend you're going to get married, because you mentioned this, you've been engaged for 3 years. Like, come on, right? Like, she never talked about it. Then all of a sudden, towards the end, she's squeezing it into all these episodes. It just felt a little, someone put some pep in her step, I feel like.
Like they've been doing from the beginning of the season. And that's sorry excuse for a storyline last season. Oh, we might have a baby. Now Juan's bringing up a baby. You saw how when Charisse brought it up later in the episode, she was like, no.
Right.
It was never a real thing.
Right. It's so fake. It's so phony. Yeah. And then she had the nerve to call Karen phony when she's the one with the fake storylines.
Yeah.
And speaking of fake and phony, Giselle asks Robyn, let's lead with who don't you want me to invite to your Bachelorette? And she says, Karen and Wendy. Was that reasonable of her or is that shady? Lailah, let's start with you.
Okay. With Karen, I think it's reasonable because obviously they have issues. You know, we just saw that last episode where her bringing out the picture of blue eyes and Karen talking about the, you know, woman that I almost say Robyn, that Juan is allegedly dating. Like, obviously they have issues. Now, the Wendy thing, for some reason, she will not let it go at Wendy. Robyn won't let it go at Wendy. Even though Ashley came up, you know, in her face talking to her about, you know, Juan and some other woman that he really loves. It's like she can forgive Ashley, but for some reason she can't forgive Wendy for talking about Juan. And so that to me is a little bit, I'm going to say unreasonable.
Yeah. And mind you, literally what Ashley said was a lot worse than what Dr. Wendy Osefo said.
Yeah.
And I think the moment where she says that Wendy was laughing, I think Wendy was laughing at the ridiculousness of Karen. I don't think she was laughing at the situation, or maybe a little bit of the situation, but mostly at Karen saying he squeezed me so tight that my breast went back to my vertebrae. That's what she was laughing at.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think about it that way from you guys' perspective. At the time, I was like, okay, I can see why. Like if someone was laughing at someone else, claiming that my man was cheating on them, yeah, I would not invite them to my Bachelorette party either. So I thought it was reasonable. But when you put it that way, that like Karen was being very theatrical. But the thing with her beef with Ashley is that was so long ago, right? Like, you know, I can kind of see why she moved on after all these years.
But why can't she? I know it's been some years, but I feel like even with Wendy, that's probably at least 2 years ago in like real time, but she won't move on with Wendy. And so I don't see the difference.
That's true.
Because Giselle still hates Wendy.
And I thought about that. She can't until Giselle gives her permission to move on with Wendy. Like how Giselle gave Mia permission to move on and make up with Wendy. Until Giselle does that for Robyn is not going to move on with Wendy. She's not.
I feel that way.
I agree with that.
But we know why. Because before everyone used to say, oh, it's because they're best friends. It's because Robyn is Giselle's lapdog. No. Giselle's the reason why Robyn is still on the show and has a job. Giselle's the reason why we have this fake and phony scene at the beginning of wedding dresses. This is why. So
Robyn
she has a loyalty to her. She's keeping her employed. I mean, how would you feel if your friend was keeping you employed? Wouldn't there be some level of loyalty?
1,000%.
I'm a loyal person in general.
Ooh, that too. Good point. It makes sense. You guys, we've got so many super chats rolling in. Thank you so much for your support of our channels. That's amazing. McHugh says, for me, the episode was a 5. I fell asleep. Listen, you and me both. Ashley says, right, boo, this episode being about Robyn. She's not main episode material, right? That's just what it is. McHugh again says, I can't stand Nick and Ashley. Hello from, is this Denmark?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Hello from Denmark. Kempire, you were just in Denmark, right, for your holidays?
And the only reason why I remember because I have the flag. I have the flag magnet. I was like, oh yeah, Denmark.
I love that. What did you say?
I was reading the comments.
Yeah. We got to get you back, Mims. We got to get you back. Yeah.
Good point. Mia does have a reupholstered kitty. Okay. I see. I love that. I believe this was a super sticker that I'm not able to see, but thank you so much, Sally Jolie. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Oh, she's back. Oh my God, I finally caught y'all live. I'm tired of being in the replay crew. Well, welcome to the live crew. Thank you for joining us. That's awesome. You know, I'm going to spill my own tea here. I shouldn't be saying this on YouTube, but because you guys were saying that it's reasonable that Wendy would be looking because Mia got something reupholstered or whatever, it makes sense because I do remember with my friends, I did do something before, not plastic surgery this time. I got a piercing. And so my friend wanted to see. She was like, "Oh my God, what was it like? Did it hurt or anything like that?" Yes. I was like, "Girl, let me show you." Yes. Oh, you know, to me, it's nothing. It's nothing. So I get it.
Kempire, are you okay?
No, y'all really keeping me gay over in these streets because I feel like between RHOP and now this conversation, we've been talking about a lot about the vajayjay, and I'm just like,
it's a beautiful thing. And that's how my friends are too. Like if I had a piercing, they would be like, "Let me see." Like they would come with me, like it would be a thing, but it's not really sexual. It's more like curiosity, like what is going on here? And
that's what I think. My friends. I need to talk to my friends. We need to do better. We need to be a little bit more open-minded. No, I'm not doing that. No.
We'll get a piercing and see who comes out and what works.
First of all, I feel like that would hurt.
Honestly, it did not. But I have like no sensation in my body. It's crazy. And it wasn't my vagina, you guys. I had a nipple piercing. I don't have it anymore, but I had it and it was amazing. And so I would be so excited to show people.
I thought about it. I actually thought about it. Me and one of my friends thought about it, but it was I felt like I would not have sensation afterwards, and that's why I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. For me, it didn't change much. I don't have much sensation in my body at all. So I love getting a little something from time to time. Not that way, you guys. So listen. Does this line up with Wendy's claims that they were being that she was being iced out this whole season? Do you feel like it's been a consistent thing? Because to me, thinking about it, I remember her being excluded for perhaps 2 events, but I think that's okay. That happens sometimes in Housewives, right? Or was it excessive to you guys?
I thought the thing about the kids was excessive. You know, when Robyn was inviting everybody else's kids except Wendy's, I thought that part was excessive. But when it comes to bachelorette parties, you know, I do give a little bit of grace because it's like a party, like, you know, it's your bridal kind of party. And you only want the people there who support your marriage, right? So I give a little bit of grace to that, but not when it comes to the kids.
I feel like this was the 3rd time that they've excluded her in this season alone. So I definitely think it was very consistent this season that they've been trying to ice her out. Very much like what they were trying to do with Monique. And now look at Monique's not on the show anymore either. So I believe based off of this season and how everything played out between what happened in Miami, between what happened during this bachelorette party situation. And here's the thing, in regards to the bachelorette party, and I get what you're saying, Lailah, but I just feel as if the reasoning behind not including Wendy was based off of what happened in Mexico. And again, I feel like Wendy's reaction was more laughing at Karen's silliness and exaggeration possibly than she was laughing at Robyn.
Yeah. I don't think it was at Robyn. Yeah.
I can agree with that. Now, you guys, it's time for the girls to kind of recount the story, the this and the that. So Candiace recounts some of the Mexico drama to her husband, Chris, who seems to not be surprised that like husbands are being brought up as usual. It had been a while since we saw Chris. I kind of like forgot about him and all of that. He seemed to not have been really here for it when it came to the stuff about like Juan. Did that kind of make Candiace look a little, I don't know, to you guys, that here's one thing I noticed about her this episode. She likes the mess when it comes to the Juan stuff or when it comes to Karen screwing people potentially. Do you think it's a good look for her to be laughing along with these girls when they go after other husbands?
Well, you know, a lot of the fans were saying this before about her behavior in previous seasons. They were like, it's very inconsistent. Now you're mad about people talking about your marriage, but you were very willing to engage previous seasons. So, look.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Yeah, it's not.
I was so disappointed. I felt like this was their season, their uprising. They could really all just come together and really, you know, drag these girls once and for all. But here we are laughing at like the same old, like junk. I felt really
Right.
disappointed in that. I wanted to see her kind of like give it to them in that point. Like, you know, Karen is Karen not her friend anymore? I was kind of confused about that. I'm skipping around here, you guys. This is like in the like strip club joint. But yeah, I kind of was expecting her at least to like stand up for Karen, or maybe even Mia, but Mia's such a flip-flopper, you wouldn't even.
Yeah, I would hate to see Candiace stand up for Mia. I'm just being honest.
I mean, there's been a lot of inconsistency when it comes to Candiace, and a lot of the fans have been critical of her in regards to forgiving these crew of ladies so easily, especially when she's coming after your own marriage. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm interested to see what she's going to bring during the reunion based off of her behavior on Watch What Happens Live. She seemed like she was still coming for Giselle. So I don't know if there's any reconciliation at this reunion between those two.
Yeah. And speaking of her stint on Watch What Happens Live, I don't know if you watched it as well, Layla, but Andy was trying to claim that like Giselle was on the hot seat, but Candiace was like, no. Was she? It was Mia on the hot seat. So does that kind of make you guys look forward to the reunion more or less?
I would prefer to see Giselle on the hot sheet, to be honest. So I guess I'll say less, even though I'm looking forward to it in general. I guess because we review it and I watch the show and I just want to see what's going on with the girls. But I guess I would say less because I would prefer to see Giselle on the hot sheet, because I feel like Giselle makes accusations about people, like she comes after people. So I do think she deserves that hot seat, as well as Mia and the physical aspect of Mia.
Well, you know what I think it is? I think if Andy didn't say he felt as if Giselle was in the hot seat, then I would probably be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about what this reunion is going to look like. But everyone's perspective of a situation, especially being there, will be very different. So it's good to hear, though, that Mia and Giselle seem to be the target of this reunion. So I'm interested to see our perspective really on this reunion and who really ends up being the target.
What do you guys think Mia would be on the hot seat for outside of her feud with Jacqueline? I feel like her other feuds are typically quite superficial. So I was surprised to hear that she was on the hot seat.
Well, I would hope somebody would hold her accountable for being physical with Wendy. I would hope. And not just Wendy. Like, don't let it just be Wendy that's holding her accountable. If it's a cast of women, and remember when Monique was physical and Giselle had a bodyguard, like they were acting like they're scared to film with Monique. Where's your bodyguard for Mia? Like, don't you have a bodyguard coming now to the reunion? Like, I would hope that it would be for that, and that it would not just be Wendy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can hope, right? We can keep our fingers crossed. I hope so too. But my thing is, the whole cast was there and they did nothing. One of them was filming and no one even thought to tell the girl filming and antagonizing to stop. So I don't know that would be it. I don't know. And then we saw her on the Sherry Shepherd show, the two girls frickin' frack, how they were like, oh, they don't pay my bills. We don't care. I don't know.
That was so ignorant, because when it comes to social media, like we are your audience. Like the audience does pay your bills. The audience does keep you on the show. So that was so ignorant and kind of like a old school way of thinking, where you don't realize social media, those are the people who are watching and keeping you afloat on this show.
Yeah, it's not cable. Sorry to tell you that, Giselle.
You said it's not what?
It's not cable.
Yes, it's so true. Listen, she was trying to launch every hue. Who do you think the audience was for every hue? Right? Exactly. Like they need us. They need us. Kim, thank you so much for this super chat. Kim says, I agree with Kempire. I think Robyn is a follower and Giselle doesn't like Wendy. So Robyn is following her leader. Absolutely agree. But at this age, she just looks so.
But keep in mind, Giselle is keeping her in a position of making money and promoting her embellished hats and things like that. Oh, I got it right for once. I didn't call it embezzled. But that's the thing. Her biggest check right now is being on this show. And Giselle, as we already know, they said it on their podcast that they didn't originally. The producers didn't even want Robyn. They hated her. And Giselle like, no, you guys have to there's more to her. There's more to her story. And that's the only reason why we still have Robyn on this show. But I'm kind of over Robyn. I'm over Robyn.
Same here. Same here. I've never been into her personally. I am excited for a shake-up Kempire. If one of them would go, I would be so happy. If Robyn would go, like I would be happy. I feel like one of them can go. Do you see it happening after this season? Like at least one person getting a little.
I wish. That's my dream too. If I had a wish list for RHOP, that would be at the top. And it would be Robyn. I would like to see Giselle on her own, because she's kind of like, excuse me, kind of like in charge of Robyn or whatever. So I would like to see Giselle stay and see how she does without Robyn. That would definitely be on my wish list. But also, the thing with Juan and how he didn't report the student that came to him with a accusation about, another one of the basketball team leaders. It almost seems with the accusations against Juan from the mystery woman, which are not just like, oh, he was cheating, but they're kind of like, he put me in a situation with another man, like they're criminal accusations. Mm-hmm. And she says that she told Robyn, and it seems like Robyn kind of like turned a blind eye too. Like neither one of them take action when people come to them and say, this happened to me. So that's another thing that I don't like about Robyn and why I don't want her to continue on this show.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the girls could pick that up for next season and run with it as a storyline? Because this year, their storyline could have been the very anti-Black things that Robyn and Giselle were saying on their podcast, but it was quiet on it. Like they tweeted about it when I shared the clip. I remember Wendy tweeting and this and that. Karen commented on the Instagram, but it wasn't brought up at all.
I blame the producers in that instance, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The producers, when they see, especially when we're reporting on stuff, they've highlighted blogs and things like that before. This would have been a perfect opportunity because it was a hot topic. That was everywhere when you reported on it. So I'm glad you brought it up again because it's like, oh, you're right. Why didn't we see that covered? Like it's a part of the blogs. So come on.
It's almost like you said, it's the producers. It's like they're not allowed to bring up certain stuff. You know what I mean? And I feel like that was an issue that they weren't allowed to bring up.
Mm-hmm. Which is so disappointing, right? Because this is the show where people have these concerns about them, about like potential like anti-Blackness within them or colorism within them. And then like they hand us this on a silver platter. These are our deepest thoughts about Black people. And we're not allowed to talk about it.
I hope during the reunion they discussed colorism and hope Dr. Wendy or Candiace brought up the podcast because that would have been perfect example of their problematic behavior, specifically Robyn and Giselle.
I hope so too. I really do. I really, really do. Trent Kin, we've got a super chat from Trent. Thank you so much. He says, but Robyn came alive in the script club. Rob was in rare form. I felt like she dipped into her stud bag in the script club. Yes, girl. Did you guys get that I felt it. She had that like.
You know what? The way she was whispering in that girl's ear, like I feel like this is normal. Like throwing the money, that's normal. But the way she was whispering in that girl's ear, I guess that was the stud bag. Like, let me tell you something. Let me whisper something in your ear.
Often, and sometimes she goes with Juan.
Mm-hmm. I feel like sometimes she goes alone too. You know how I like to go eat dinner alone? She might go to strip club alone sometimes.
Did you see that food though? I don't even like lobster like that or steak like that. And I was like, this food looks good at the strip club.
It did look good. It really did. Oh my God.
But you not eat with somebody like shaking ass like in your vicinity.
Especially me. Like all of a sudden, lady.
I wouldn't be able to either. I've never been to a strip club. I'm too scared. I feel like, oh, this is so like sad. Yeah.
Do they got strip clubs in Paris? Let's go. Let's all go.
We should go and film it.
We do. You know what? We have a lot of like exchanges clubs. Like if you're like a swinger or something like that. Like, yeah, we got a lot of those. Very luxurious too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very wild around here. Swinging from chandeliers, wild. Oh, you know what I did forget to say in that scene with Candiace and her husband Chris? They were talking about potentially restarting the whole IVF process again. Do you guys think they've started that? Like, do you think that's something that they decided they're going to do in the off season when they're no longer filming, just so that they don't have the drama?
Kempire, why are you making that face?
Because you know what I've said since the beginning of this whole storyline with the egg situation. I don't believe she really wants to have children just yet. I think she's very focused on her career, which there's nothing wrong with that. But we also have to remember this wasn't about necessarily having a baby right now. This was about freezing her eggs. So I really don't know if I really believe the storyline.
Okay, so she's doing IVF just to freeze them? Because I thought she was fertilizing them.
I think she's fertilizing. I don't know. I know it's not for her to have a baby right now.
I think they're making embryos. At least I hope, because I heard that like just freezing the eggs is not as, they're not usually as successful as having full-blown embryos. Embryos are like more durable and more likely to be turned into a baby eventually, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Kempire. I don't see her wanting to have kids like anytime soon. She might even be a child-free person. I feel like she might be one of those people who's feeling the pressure from around her to have kids and stuff.
And I don't think that pressure is coming from Chris. I think Chris is okay. He has his kids. I don't think he necessarily wants anymore.
Exactly. I don't think it's Chris either. I feel like it might be her mother or perhaps her father or her sisters or something like that, but it's not her and it's not Chris. Yeah, I just don't see it for a while anyway. Now, you guys, who comes over to Mia's house? Giselle goes to Mia's house to ask her about those rumors.
Yes. Get it from the horse's mouth. Yes.
Exactly. And Mia, she basically cops up to it immediately. She's like, oh yeah, this happened, that happened. I put a stop to it. Did you believe her version of events?
No.
I would say yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, I did believe what she was saying, that I guess, they unveiled themselves to each other. I did believe that. And she was saying that nothing really happened, because I told you my thought is that it has to do with the surgery. Like, let me see what the doctor did. So in a way, I did believe it. I did.
Well, Mia's a liar, so it's hard to believe anything that comes out of her mouth. So it's trying to pick out where the truth is. I need to hear Dr. Wendy's side, to be honest with you, so we can piece together the truth.
Yeah, I would like that as well.
But here Giselle goes spreading all these rumors and putting a little sauce on it, as she says to Ashley. Again, here's Giselle in the middle of people's actual relationships and marriages, and she has nothing for us to attack.
Right, right.
Exactly. And you know what?
I think that's on purpose. Yeah.
It never gets called out. Like, another thing is that, like, in between people's fights, for example, she was so obsessed with Karen versus Charisse, but she doesn't want to deal with Giselle herself versus Wendy. Like, we never saw any kind of attempts at reconciliation. And I think she tried to have other people, Jacqueline and Mia, she was trying to get that together again. But what about yourself, Giselle? Why can you never reconcile with people? Why do you always act like this is your thing? What is that about?
Deflection. Clear deflection. She'd much rather deal with that. At this point, Giselle's just looking very sad. Just very sad. Like, you have nothing else going on in your life. So this is what you do. This is what the producers have allowed you to do. So you're just doing it more and more and more. I already said it. I see in her future a Lisa Rinna situation. If they keep allowing her to have this sort of behavior interfering in people's relationships, it's going to get worse. She's not going. It's like children. If you don't show them boundaries, they just get worse and worse and worse. And that's what's going to happen with Giselle. And she has. If you look at the seasons, she's just gotten worse.
I completely agree. I've been praying for this. I remember, I'm like, guys, the Lisa thing totally opened the door, because they are one and the same. And it's just like a level of nastiness that is just so sad and like hard to watch. Like, these are real families, real kids involved. And she's just got such a hatred, it feels like, for these people. Like, it's just not normal. Especially who? Especially Wendy. You see how she's like, I got to get Mia's side and da-da-da. Because Mia is a known, admitted liar. I much rather go to Wendy, but she's not going to go to Wendy because she doesn't like Wendy. And she much rather get Mia's side and then put her own stank on this rumor.
So would you say, remember Giselle was trying to put that battery in Mia's back and tell her that Wendy was jealous of her? But would you say that maybe Giselle is the one? Because it didn't seem like Mia and Wendy, it didn't seem like jealousy there. But would you say that maybe Giselle is the one that's jealous of Wendy and her happy marriage and things like that? And her Idris Elba? Life is what you make it. So, I mean, would y'all think that Giselle is jealous of Wendy? She's jealous of everyone that's happy and married. And even if they have an open marriage, she's an unhappy, silly person. It's very sad to watch. I completely agree. I think Giselle, I think she would have loved to have stayed married to
the pastor and just had that like home and everything like that and had the money and whatnot. And the fact that she doesn't have that, like that kills her. And that's what turned her into what she is today. She's very deeply unhappy and it shows. It seeps inside out with her. So, and I feel like the viewership has turned around against her on that. Like, it's like, okay, we've had it at this point. This is too much. You've got to stop. Especially after the book. Like, we recapped the book together. And like, when she's in there bragging about being a producer, that's what really turned me off too. I was like, oh, now you're bragging about this, that like you stage storylines and don't have your own thing going on. All right, girl. I don't know.
This season, I feel like it's the worst we've seen her do it.
Mm-hmm. We can't forget also that Giselle wrote a whole book about Jamal, like the My Word, that fictional, quote unquote, fictional book. Like I have that book and it is all about Jamal. So we can never forget that.
Did you recap that book?
I didn't recap it. I be reading stuff and then I don't know why I never create the content about it. I just be reading like, Same with Wendy's book. But I should, because it was sold as a fictional book, but you know, it seemed to be a lot of her reality in that book. And it was all about her love with Jamal. Yeah.
Well, it's still something that bothers her. And I get it. Like, it's traumatic what he did to her. It's very, very, very traumatic, especially with children involved, like the children they had together and the children that he had on her. Like, I don't see her as the type to go to therapy or whatever. Do you see her as that type to go and heal that? No, right?
She feels like she knows it all. Like she doesn't take any sort of ownership of anything. I don't believe she, I mean, everyone could use therapy no matter who you are. I don't think that she would.
Yeah. Me neither, which is sad. It could help her. It could help her like free herself from this. That's obviously weighing her down. You guys, if you've been enjoying this live stream, please don't forget to like this stream. That's going to help my channel, Lailah's channel, and Kempire's channel here on YouTube. And it's going to help our videos continue to pop up in your algorithm as well. Again, I'm here with Lailah Lynn and Kempire. Kempire, sometimes I call you Kempire Daily. I don't know why I call you Kempire Daily. Isn't it okay?
That's what originally my channel was called, but now everyone just calls me Kempire.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's like you, Grace. I always call you Grace Report.
That's my name.
Grace.
Guys, please make sure to support their channels by subscribing to them as well. I've got the links to their channels in the description box for this video as well. So, Lailah, I don't know if you have Karen's candle next to you or not, but we're about to get into that after these super chats. Okay, I'll give you a moment. With these super chats. So Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I rate the episode as 7. Please continue this panel with RHOA. I love all of you. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Brian. Thank you so much. We've never recapped RHOA before. It always happens like on a misalignment with the schedule. Hopefully we'll be able to, but if not, trust and believe. What?
They just wrapped their season over the weekend.
I saw. It looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. Oh, I hope it's good, y'all. I hope it's good. It's been a while.
A lot of people. It's a full cast this season. Lots of new housewives.
It really is. I don't know about you, Kempire, but I'm not a fan of Marlo. To me, she's like Dr. Heavenly on Married to Medicine.
Heavenly's funny though. Marlo though, I mean, she's in the mix, and word on the street is that she's full time. But I have to say, based off of the pictures, you see her, but you don't see her a lot. I'm wondering the role that she's playing this season and what her story will be.
I just can't with her. I can't. I hope it's minimal.
Okay.
Matthew is back from Denmark. Thank you again, Matthew. Matthew says, the other franchise invited all the ladies, even if they're not speaking. It's only in Potomac. They do this kind of childish behaviors towards Wendy. True. True. It reminds me of how, for example, Candiace did not get iced out of Ashley's Mexico birthday trip, right? Like, what's going on? AJ, thank you so much. AJ says, the only person Candiace will defend is Wendy. Candiace used to go hard for Karen in past seasons, but after their fallout, she's learned to just sit back and watch. Ooh,
good point. Approach. Yeah.
Karen used to be a mom for her, right? I think so. She must have been heartbroken after the Monique stuff when Karen was kind of like on the fence, twerking on the fence, as Kempire says. Conscious Beauty 80 says, as a fellow, I can't see this emoji.
I think it's an AKA.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
As a fellow AKA, I'm tired of Big Sister Almighty. She makes us look bad. Right? She just seems like such a bitter, mean girl. It's me, MK. Shame on Candiace. Her cackling along with the defamatory tea Charisse spilled was telling. At least the green-eyed bandits, they don't F with you. Exactly. I don't like it. I'm like, Candiace, you're our girl this season. Don't let us down. What is this? And it's me
in
also.
All fairness, I'm sorry. In all fairness, though, I did see that scene. You know how sometimes when they like cut and paste scenes, you never know if that of her going like this was another moment. Just in all fairness.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
You just never know.
Yeah.
I hope so. But you know what? In her defense, in the confessional, she said she didn't want to say anything because she's team Black Love.
Yeah. And then people in my
whatever that means.
People in the comments are like, "You married to a white man."
Right. But really, they say, let me just say this. They say Black love. If you Black, whatever love you have is Black love. Like, don't trip.
I agree with that. I get in trouble for saying this, but I say it sometimes. I think the Black Love movement is a scam. When you watch it's true. It's struggle love they're preaching to us. When you watch that OWN network show, it's struggle love.
I never watched it.
Like, as
As
a Black woman, it's like you have to be available for struggle and holding somebody down through the grind for them to know they love you or you love them. That on that show, that's what the Black love is. Like, she held me down when I was broke, treating her like trash, and so I know she's the one that I can now marry.
For the love of TJ Holmes and what he said back in 2020 about Myra Lee Figbig, that's exactly what he said.
Exactly.
Oh,
that was a Black love speech. That was a Black love speech. I did not subscribe to that. I'm sorry. I get in trouble every time, but I'm sorry. I don't believe in Black love. It's the one that you guys are preaching me. You love, but no. Yeah. What's that, Layla?
No, I just feel like if you Black, wherever you find love is Black love because you Black. So
exactly.
Nope to self.
It's me. MK also said Mia said Chris looked at her. Not true. Giselle said Chris touched some booty. Not true. I don't believe what those two say about Wendy and Kittygate. Great point. Great point. And I think that's something that she's gonna pay for in the reunion as well. The whole saying that Chris looked at her, Mia. So that might have been why. Now, Layla, the candle, please. While the girls were at the Bachelorette, Karen, she's doing a meeting for her candle. Let's take a look at the candle.
This is Bohemian Fire. This is the second iteration. Remember, she had a different scent originally.
Yeah.
And it seems to be that when Giselle said it smelled like Old Lady, she rebranded with this Bohemian Fire. And so fire gives you youth. That's what they say. Fire is like youthful. But when I smell it, the wafts and the aroma, it does still give me Old Lady. It does. It's like Old Lady gang in a jar. But I do have to say this. I've never actually burned it. I can't find a lighter, but just from the scent, the top notes, if you will, it does give you Old Lady.
I love how Layla's presenting this. You're really breaking it down, the history and everything.
And I wish one thing about candles, I prefer when they have the notes, like when they tell you, like if it's like floral, whatever the notes are, but it doesn't. It tells you, heat stuff, like, be careful with it, but it doesn't tell you the notes on the actual candle.
So it's very much like Karen, a big mystery.
There you go. But I do wonder if I was to burn it. I do wonder what it would smell like. I have to get a lighter. But
please. Next week.
But it's not bad. It's not bad, Old Lady. It's just
Is it Chanel No. 5 Old Lady? Because that one surprised me when I smelled that.
Yeah, I don't like any of the Chanel perfumes. I don't. Yeah, they're all Old Lady. That's a good point. She may be going for a Chanel type vibe for her brand. Yeah.
That's not very original, but then again, she's been accused of not being very original.
Right.
That's
a good point. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Karen. We love you though.
She's not feeling that.
It's a no for me, dog.
How much did you pay for it, Layla? Because when I went on her website, the one she was talking about was $130.
Right. But that's the 4-wick. That's the 4-wick. I got the 3-wick. You can't really see for
there we go. We see it.
I got the 3-wick, and I want to say it was $44.
Damn, what a difference.
Yeah. It's still expensive
Like
though, right?
Damn.
I feel like at Bed Bath and Beyond, you get a 3-wick for what, like 15 or something like that.
Because it's always some type of sale. You know, you buy like three for 15. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, listen, I think some of her PR people are in the building. They keep telling us that you can get them for 50% off. So at least $20 for the candle that Lailah has. And what is this? I don't know the math. 75 or something like that. I don't know. For the $130 candle. Okay, you guys, if you're interested, go ahead. Support La Dame, support Black business, y'all. Let's do this. Listen, there are over 1,000 of you in the chat. Please, 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 if you're enjoying our stream, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It would be so greatly appreciated by myself, by Lailah, and by Kempire as well. Now, you guys, she did mention the inventory of 8,000. Like, I just noted that because they never really talk about inventory. They usually just brag about selling out. But I always wonder, like, you know, how much you carry? 8,000, that's reasonable, right? That's good.
I thought it was great. Yeah. I do think that's great. To me, that tells me it's selling, even though I might not care for it. That tells me it's selling. And I think that's great.
People want a little something of La Dame. People want a little something of the show. You know what I mean? I don't know if people are buying it because they really are burning these candles. They're buying it because, oh, it's Karen Huger and she's on this show. Again, another reason why people are buying the embezzled hats. It's something from, that's why I bought this embezzled hat.
Embezzled hats.
That's why I bought it.
What does it say on it? It
excellence, Black excellence. I mean, that's why it's Black excellence. I support Black business.
I love it.
I love it. Good for you. Now, you guys, when Ashley and Mia turned up on the Bachelorette bus, they were wearing the same snake print onesie. Mia said that she wore it better because she was like an anaconda, and Ashley was like a little garden snake. That made me laugh. I thought that was quite cute. Remind me of the WAP song. Who do you guys think wore it better between Mia and Ashley?
I would like to make a confession. I also own this cap. Yes, I bought it. I bought it like last summer. And I think I threw it away. Because sometimes you cannot tell stuff is see-through on the website. They don't say it's see-through. And I think I remember getting it and being like, oh, dang, it's see-through. And discarding it. Yeah. But I thought it was cute.
I would say Lailah looked the best out of all three.
I would put some body in it.
Where did you buy it from, by the way?
It's Fashion Nova.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why they were talking about all that stuff on the website, and they happened to buy that. And for some reason, I bought it too, which makes me feel like it must have been an ad. Like it must have been an ad, like a Pinterest ad or something like that, where they were promoting that particular jumpsuit.
They know what they're doing.
I also yeah. Yes, me. I am a particular in whole clothes. Yes, I would buy whole clothes.
You know what I noticed about Ashley in particular, because sometimes Mia does look like she wears like more expensive clothes. I feel like Ashley shops exclusively Fashion Nova, because even the black kind of Mugler type of jumpsuit she was wearing, I believe that was Fashion Nova as well.
Yes, and when we talk about Marlo, like we were just saying, when they did the Watch What Happens Live and they were showing who's dressed alike, and they showed Marlo and Ashley in that same Mugler. Marlo actually had on the real Mugler, and then Ashley had on the
you could tell.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ashley loves Fashion Nova. Yes, I'm just out here biased. I'm gonna share my Amazon with y'all if y'all just want to buy random stuff too.
I do.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like in the Amazon box, like, oh, what I get today?
Yeah,
you know, honestly, when I think about that, I'm like, Ashley, you really sold your youth away to like an old creep just to be shopping Fashion Nova like the rest of us. Girl, I'm sorry, but
the way you pull her down in that, just those couple of sentences.
If I'm gonna sell my soul to an old creep, I am gonna be shopping. I don't know. I'm wearing only Chanel. I'm wearing only Dior.
Like Marlo. Yeah.
Exactly. See, Marlo, like she's up there.
Her makes it make sense. Marlo makes it make sense, you know? But Ashley, you know, she's Fashion Nova at heart.
People love Fashion Nova, I guess.
Right? Fashion Nova, yeah.
It's nice, but it's for us. We're like regular people, you know. She has a sugar daddy. Like, what is this? Now, you guys, we have been kind of talking about our reactions to the people surrounding the stories that Charisse was saying about Karen, but we didn't talk about the stories themselves. Did they hit? Did Charisse finally drop the mic? Like, were you like gagged by her accusations of Karen Huger slobbing the knob or hooking up in a restaurant bathroom with a waiter or something like that? No. and why not?
I don't know that I believe it. Like, I do think Karen and Ray may have some type of agreement, but as far as Karen hooking up with waiters in the bathroom, I don't know that I believe that. And like your tweet said, that's so unsanitary. Like, just from a bacteria point of view, it's like so disgusting that I don't believe Karen, not in the bathroom. Like,
no,
I don't believe it. Yeah.
Even with the way Charisse said it, she said it with such venom. I was just like, damn, you're sad. You're doing, and you are willing to be the lapdog for Robyn and Giselle this season, just so they don't edit you out for the umpteenth season.
Yeah.
This is sad. Do I believe, like Lil said, do I believe that Ray and Karen might have an open situation? Yeah, I do. Yeah, come on. Yeah. And they're old school. They don't want to bring it on the show. Fine, whatever. But the amount of venom that came out of Charisse's face and mouth at that point, I was like, oh, this is sad, girl. You have nothing else going on in your life. Oh, no wonder you're friends with Giselle and Robyn. The same. Miserable, messy and miserable.
She was like calling Karen a drunk. Meanwhile, I could barely understand what she was saying because as usual, she was slurring. Her eyes were barely open. I was just so like, what are you saying, girl? Wake up.
Yeah.
It's too much though. Like every single scene, all she's doing is talking about Karen.
Yeah, and I saw on Twitter people were saying like at the Bachelorette, the only way to bring Charisse into the conversation was to mention Karen. Like you can't just ask Charisse about her own life and the cameras cover it. You have to ask Charisse about Karen. Yeah, and then it'll get played on TV.
And that's why Karen doesn't want to give her energy because she's like, I'm not going to give you a storyline.
Exactly.
She's playing the game well, but at this point, like Charisse, I think that they've used her as much as they can, and I don't think we'll see her again next season because that's it, right? Like, what else does she have? She's a one-trick pony. That's it.
Did you? Oh, we didn't talk about the reunion looks. What did you ladies think of the reunion looks?
Oh, yeah, we did.
I'm gonna try and grab a photo. You go ahead, Layla.
All right, well, I will start with Candiace and her feathers. I will say this. At first look, it gave me drama. Like, oh my God, Candiace, who said your dress has to be small? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do it big. That's what it gave me. It gave me a dramatic first look. But then when I looked closer and I looked at the color of the bodice and the fact that the bodice seemed to be like pink and the flowers were blue, I was like, I don't know about that. But I do like her shoes. I loved her shoes.
Yeah.
What about you, Kempire?
I have to say, originally when I first, because I literally when I was live, I went and I looked at the reunion looks, and my initial reaction to Candiace was like, okay, I kind of like where this is going, but it didn't seem like they were very mindful of placing the feathers. So you ended up seeing a little too much of the undergarment part, which took away from me away from it, because I feel like it could have been a fabulous look. But my favorite look of this reunion is definitely Dr. Wendy Osefo. It was like a work of art, from the hair, makeup to the dress. I loved it.
So you're saying it didn't give you mermaid?
No, not at all. No? It gave me peacock. God. It gave me peacock. It's a beautiful. It's from a Filipino designer.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. I loved it. I know some people didn't. It was my favorite look. And then of course, Karen's look. Who the same lady that did Karen's look this season was the same lady who did her look from last season from Project Runway. That special Real Housewives episode.
Yes.
Chastity Surreal or something like that. She was like the runner-up for Project Runway, and she did her reunion look last year and this year.
Okay. I loved your TikTok on that. I actually just saw that earlier today. Listen, my favorite look, it's gonna surprise you guys. Giselle.
No, Grace. Wow. I think so highly of you, Grace.
Why?
I'm joking.
You're in Paris of all places. Why?
Yes, you're in Paris.
I'm joking. Giselle, here's the thing. She looks the way she always looks. So we're gonna skip through that. But I have to say as well that I loved Wendy's, like it reminded me of a figure skater almost. It's just so beautiful. It's like a work of art. I loved Candiace's as well. And you know who kind of pleasantly surprised me was Robyn. Like it was nice and simple. It was perfect for her. But someone, I don't know who it is, another content creator. I think I recently followed them on TikTok, but he did a video pasting Karen's face over Giselle, saying if Karen wore this. But the gag is it looked good if with a fake Karen. I was like,
yeah, it did.
Maybe because Karen had an updo. Well, you know, Giselle had an updo too. Yeah,
Giselle
looks horrible to me. She looks horrible. Like to me, if you're gonna do a split, you see how we have Karen, Ashley, and Wendy with the splits. Even Candiace. Yeah. To me, a split should go higher. Like if you're gonna show some leg. And that split, like that short split, I don't think it's cute. This is actually a remake of a Kim Kardashian dress. I'm not sure if it was Salmon, but it's a recreation of it, and it looks nothing like the original. Like it's a bad knockoff. It's really bad.
Yeah. And did you guys notice on her, I think it's her left arm, it doesn't match the amount of crystals on the right arm?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. God. That it's unfinished. It's the unfinished dress. Yeah, it's unfinished.
I think it was just too much of the diamonds. I think if she had some of that and not like on every joint of her body, it would look a lot better. Her hair and makeup look great though.
I don't like the hair.
I like the hair.
That's not great. Yeah,
it reminds me of the hair my mom did for me for like my sixth grade graduation. I want to say like the plastic hair she glued on my head. What about Ashley? Here's my thing. When I saw Ashley's outfit, listen, she has lost the baby weight. She's in incredible shape. And I feel like that's her problem, is that she's so obsessed with showing that off that she'll wear outfits that don't flatter her. You know, my first reaction is like, okay, Ashley, we get it. You lost the weight. Like even like the Mugler outfit and other outfits she's been wearing like in Mexico and just like throughout the season, they're not flattering to her. Like just because you're in great shape doesn't mean that everything looks great. That's my reaction, but I don't know.
I didn't mind this look on her. Maybe because of for the love of Giselle and all that she gave us in this particular outfit. I don't think people are really too focused on what Ashley's giving here. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it. It's not my favorite, but it's okay. Look, it's okay.
I like where she was going. I like the energy of it. Like I like the energy of showing some skin, but I also feel like she's so in shape. She has like a swimmer's body, and I don't feel like the dress accounts for that. You know what I'm saying? Like it gives that inverted triangle look because of the embellishment. And I really think she should go for the opposite look. But I like the energy of let me show some skin, let me give some embellishment. Like I see where she was going with it. I love the hair, I love the makeup. I like what she was trying to do.
Exactly. It's a nice concept. And that's the same thing I noticed as well, like the overemphasizing. What was that, Kempire?
Notice how no one brought up Mia.
No Mia. And no Karen's outfit either. What did you guys listen? Mia's reminds me of any prom dress you've seen, right? And then Karen's is more unique, but it's not oof to me. It's beautiful, but Wendy really stuck out to me, and I like Candiace's dress a lot. And I don't know. I'm not seeing too much for them. What do you think of their dresses?
I thought it was funny. Someone tweeted me that I think the reason why they chose blue was because of Blue Eyes.
Oh, I didn't think about that. And look at Karen, censor. Oh my God, Karen.
I like them in blue though. They look great.
That is so funny. Honestly, it's beautiful. Everyone got a shade of blue. That much I can say. That worked for their skin tone. You're seeing pale blues, rich blues. I really like that. Honestly, I'm excited to see them like sitting down on that couch for the reunion. I think that's going to be really exciting to see like how they look in motion, because that changes things when the glitter on their bodies and stuff is being shown off. We'll see. We'll see. Now, you guys, the episode kind of finishes out with Candiace dropping a ball because, as usual, Ashley is being very naive about her divorce. She's saying that she and Michael are quite amicable right now. They're not really moving forward toward that divorce thing. She was dating before, but he guilt tripped her out of it because he's not seeing anyone else. And Candiace goes, "Oh, are you sure about that? He was in my man's restaurant with another woman."
That was crazy.
Yes.
Such a liar. And she's so gullible that she falls for it.
Her reaction, though, was kind of weird. I was like, wait, are you guys working on getting back together? Her reaction was weird. It was like, okay, because he's not dating anyone else, you're not going to date anyone else, but you're still divorcing, right?
But she couldn't answer that question. Remember, she couldn't answer. She doesn't know what's going on. But I thought that was sad. Yeah, that guilt trip that he told her he's not dating anybody. And she believed him. After all the lies he's told her, she believed him and she stopped dating.
See, this is the thing. Younger women, we're always saying, listen, stop with these older men, because a lot of times they're preying on you and your naivety, and they're going to run circles around you. And each time the young Ashleys, they go, oh, but I'm mature for my age. I can keep up. No, you can't. Look at you. Look at you every single week looking so lost when it comes to your divorce. This man is running circles around her. And it's kind of scary because this involves finances. This involves the future of herself and her kids as well. Like, wake up, Ashley.
Yeah. I always think it's a bad idea. And I always, when I make my videos, I try to mention this to younger women. Like, they always say, oh, I got to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to get this man and get the bag. But it's like, what if you are the bag? What if you have something inside you that is the bag, that is the moneymaker? And then you put all your efforts in this man when really you had it inside you to make the money. You know what I mean? And that's what I see with Ashley. Like, she doesn't know who she is, because she spent so much of her 20s with this man, like focused on him and getting his money. But in reality, just her being on this cast, on this show, shows that she has it in her, like, to get the bag, to be the star.
And be messy and miserable.
I mean, whatever you got to do. Those are minor details, Kempire. Those are minor details. But I'm just saying, it's in her, and she spent her 20s chasing after him.
And she's been making money for the last 7 years. I hope that she has been putting that in a separate bank account, and she still has that money.
You can hope that, but we don't know, because we see in her actions that she's really focused on, him.
Yeah.
I feel like she mentioned earlier that she's never like seen the money, like she's never touched the money or something like that. I'm
not surprised.
I feel like I saw her mention that, which wouldn't surprise me, because again, she's very, very naive, and it's scary. And it is true. Like right now, Lailah, like there's so much, especially on TikTok. There's so much of like these girls telling like other young ladies, go to like these places, wait for a man. This is where you find this man. It's like, no. That's how you set yourself up to, I don't know.
Focus on you, girl, because you might have it in you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't focus on a man for money. Focus on you.
Exactly. And what's the point if all you can do is buy Fashion Nova like the rest of us after you get with them? She doesn't even have a Birkin, y'all. Trent says, did anybody catch that? Candiace said she said too much already because she mentioned friends S-ing D in the club before Charisse got a chance to mention it. So is that being implied that Karen is the friend? Because I remember her saying that. Yeah. You don't remember?
Yes, but I didn't take it like that until he just mentioned it.
Ooh. I can't picture it. Like, Karen is an older lady. Like, her knees and her hips are not set up for that in a bathroom. No. I'm just thinking how small bathrooms are these places. I just don't see it. I can't believe it. Like, no, I can't. Kim says, use code Blue Eyes for 50% off shirt.
Oh my God.
Oh, you
I
guys
could have got this half the price. I didn't even put in a code, but I could have got it half the price.
Damn.
How long is it still in the refund window so you can send it back? You haven't lit it.
Right, I haven't lit it. Yeah. I just talked about it on YouTube. I didn't actually light it.
Invoice her. All I did is talk about it, promote it. TV, thank you for the super chat. TV says, Cha-Cha made no sense. If Karen doesn't talk to you, why would she be hanging at the club with you? She's clearly obsessed with her.
Yeah, I just don't see. Even when she mentioned that they were hanging out, I was like, really? I mean, I don't think it's impossible that they may have been in the same circles and they've hung out, but the way she made it seems like they were hanging out. I'm like, when was this?
Fan energy. She's giving fan energy, just the way she's so fixated on her, Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't love it. But she did come to the reunion, and I didn't pull up a thing of her dress. Do you guys remember liking her dress? I thought.
No.
I thought it didn't look great on her, but the dress in general was not bad.
Yeah.
Like it was long sleeve, up to the collar, and had a cutout on the side. Yeah. And it was a little bit of a wrap dress, except for the cutout, which I didn't think was a bad dress. And then when I saw
a really good designer too, it's like some high end design.
It's Balmain.
Yeah.
But the way she wore it, people didn't care for it.
Ooh.
I didn't care for the hair.
Yeah, it was very
Did not
promised
care for
too.
her. Yeah.
I didn't care for it either. Obi says Wendy's reunion outfit was beat to the gods. So was Gizzard's face. Shasha lacks self-awareness, trying to expose another of being an alcoholic. Ma'am, you actually appear drunk on the daily. Just saying, right? She's slurring her words, calling someone else an alcoholic. Like, it's just stop. That's a very strong accusation, and at least be sober when you're claiming that of other people. Thank you all so much for the super chats. I hope I got to everybody's. Guys, did I miss anything from the episode? Did we cover it all?
I think so. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think so. Yes.
Yeah, because that stripper scene was terrible and sad.
I love the strip club.
And too long. Too long.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. It did seem like a unique strip club, how they had the girl in the shower. I thought that was unique. The steak and lobster, how they verified, yes, some strip clubs serve steak and lobster. I like that.
The food looked good too.
I liked seeing Robyn in her stud energy, in her stud bag. I like that. I was like, okay, girl, F it up. I loved that. But otherwise, and you know what? Speaking of the shower, thanks for bringing that up. I got tricked into going into one of those shower like gay clubs because most of my friends here are gay, and we have an area in Paris called the Le Marais, the 4th arrondissement, where it's like all gay clubs. We're always there, and I got tricked into going into one where the guys like they get into a shower, and I was like, oh, like it's cool. They're gonna dance in the shower. No, naked, washing themselves. Oh my god.
Damn it! Next time.
I'll bring you there. I'll bring you there.
Now without. I want to watch.
Right.
That was wild. It was enormous. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for this recap. Listen, 1,200 of us here. Please, if you enjoyed our stream, make sure to give it a big like, okay? Next week, we're going to actually be on Lailah's YouTube channel, so please definitely make sure to subscribe to her channel, and then after that, we'll be on Kempire, so make sure to subscribe to him as well so you don't miss out as we continue along the panel. Again, you guys are amazing. I can't believe the season is winding down. It has always been so joyous to be able to talk with you guys. And I'm gonna miss it when the season's over.
I know. Maybe we'll do Atlanta this year. We'll see when it's coming on to see if we can do it. Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of comments about that. We'll see if our schedules align for that. And I do also want to say thank you to you as well, Gracie's Quilting and Crafting Corner, for your super chat. She is a royal court member, a Kempire court member. So it's so nice to see, you guys floating around our channels and everything like that. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.